life between the trees. Want to know what life is like with the 300 two-stroke Sherco after 60 hours of ownership? Stick around, we'll find out. Take me to my death, Luke.
Yeah. So just bear in mind, if you get stuck in this area here,
Yeah, just go downhill.
just go straight, or come back this way.
If you can get through this bit, you're right.
Yeah, right. I reckon I might be able to. You go. Going to do a new bit of off-camber that I've never done before. Luke, get out of the way. You wouldn't want to come here directly after rain. We get a lot of comments on our Facebook pages, the various pages, asking are there any common faults with the Shercos, and by and large, especially the two-strokes, no, not really. Yeah, our most common issues seem to be related to jetting and the choices made. The Sherco jetting chart is not worth the either paper or disc space. It's so far off it's not really usable as a starting point. So yeah, just take advice from people when they offer it and set the bike up to suit your local conditions as you see fit. So yeah, I'm a couple of pilot jet sizes smaller than recommended for my area or for my altitude off the list, and I'm 3 needle sizes smaller. Just fine. That's a bit of a ride. So another question that's often asked by new owners when they get the bike home and they have a look at it closely and, you know, pretty it all up for a ride, they notice a gap in the plastics where the radiator shroud meets the rear section. And it's common to the bikes. It's not just their bike, it's a common mismatch in the plastics. I believe myself that it's due to the tank not sitting down in the frame correctly, and then obviously the shrouds are mounted to the tank. To be fair and serious, does it affect the bike in any way? No, certainly does not. Obviously, it's just how it looks. Is it a good look? No, I don't believe it is. And if you have a look at this photo, this is the promotional shots of the 2022 models. The high resolution promo shots by Sherco themselves when they released the bikes, and you can see that the gap is still there, bold as you like. So yeah, disappointing. Doesn't reflect the rest of the quality of the bike. The bikes are great, and you know, it makes you feel like when you get home you think, oh, this gap, wonder what else is wrong with the bike. Fortunately, nothing, but yeah, anyway, something for them to work on. It's been there for a long time, at least since 2013 or 14 from memory. It's gone through several different plastic shape changes and a couple of different types of paint, and it's still there. So hopefully one day it'll line up like a Jap bike, and maybe they'll go to a one-piece shroud, I don't know. Anyway, small thing. Never mind. Any other issues? I've seen a couple of bikes. It's not a common thing, but a couple of them have done regulators, had them fail. The bikes have a very big alternator for a dirt bike. It's 220 watt. So quite capable of running a light bar for night rides or an extra big headlight. But yeah, it does mean that the regulator works pretty hard trying to soak up unused voltage that the alternator is producing. So to that end, I always run my headlight on, and I haven't experienced a failure in 3 bikes. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe that's something that helps, but certainly that's what I do, and I haven't had a failure yet. They're obviously covered by warranty when the bike's in warranty. You'd rather not have it fail, and there have been a couple of bikes cooked the battery as a result. One other issue or small thing with them, the lithium battery is not a big fan of cold weather. So if you live somewhere where it's regularly down to 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit for the American market, then the standard lithium battery is not going to enjoy life on cold starts. You have to hold the button down, start button down, and wait for it to warm up, and then it will start the bike. If you're in a cold place like that, you'd do well to replace it with a better battery, an AGM maybe, something with more power as well. I think the stock battery works out at 80 cold cranking amps, which is not a lot. It's very small. Something more than 150 up towards 200 cold cranking amps would be a far better proposition. So positives for the bike: traction and torque. Incredible low down torque, and the rear end seems to be able to find traction in crazy places. But yeah, the 302 stroke just seems to be able to pull way off the bottom and produce smooth power up the top that you can use to turn into grip. I like it. There's someone that's come off a 4-stroke that didn't have a whole lot of torque. To me, it's a revelation. You can see why they're more popular for hard enduro for that very reason. Yeah, obviously horses for courses and tools for the job. So handling is, in my opinion, having ridden a few of the competition, even late model ones, handling is second to none. This bike is stock out of the crate, standard spring rates, standard valving and adjustment of the clickers, and I'm 93 kilos at the moment plus gear, and it handles amazingly. I have a mate that races enduro and has done for years. Step off his 500 orange bike onto this, rode it for 15 minutes and declared it the best handling bike that he's been on. He has spent a fortune on his 19 model 500 to get it to handle, and it's still not where he wants it. So yeah, a bit of an eye-opener there for him. One of the things the Sherco is known for, obviously, is still running a carburetor, and to some people that's a plus, some people it's a negative. I'm a bit on the fence. I'm a motor mechanic that's dealt with EFI since the 80s, and I like fuel injection. I don't like the system that KTM have put together. Yeah, it seems a bit hit and miss. Some bikes run really well, there's a lot of bikes that don't. Sherco do have a system in the wings ready to go when they're required to fit it, I think, which is 24 is the requirement for different fuel emissions. Currently they're able to meet current emissions target laws with the carburetor and the electronic power valve system that they have. So yeah, they're one of the few still running a carb. For me, some of these steep downhills, unless I have the clutch out, the engine will stall. There is quite an angle, which I'll show in a photo here. The carb is on quite an angle where it meets the reed block, and obviously when you're leaning downhill, the camera won't show how steep this hill is, but it's, let me tell you, it's a good solid walk uphill. So all the fuel runs to the front of the carb. Yes, you can improve it a bit with the float level, but end story is that some hills it will load up with fuel and stall. It's not the end of the world. They do restart very quickly with the carb. Don't have to wait for fuel pumps to prime or any of that sort of business. They, one press and they go. The good side of the carburetor, I should mention also, is that you can set it as an end user with jetting to how you like it. So some people fit triple taper Suzuki brand needles to their carbs. You can fit smaller or larger pilot jets and main jets. Change the slide cut, do all sorts of stuff and mess around and get exactly what you want. It's a bit more difficult with EFI. There are tuners that can tune the Synergex system, and that's what KTM are using. It's also the 4-stroke brand of fuel injection that Sherco use, and it's also the same ECU that runs the power valve system and spark on this model, so it won't be hard for them to also load that ECU with fuel mapping when it's time, so I'd expect it to still be Synergex. AT. I wondered where that came from. I've been down this other side. So 60 hours on, would I buy the bike again? 100%, yeah, definitely, and love the thing. Can't get enough of it. I work a mining roster, and the whole time I'm away at work, I'm just thinking about when I can get back to home and ride the bike again. So it's that good. It's made me take on challenges that I wouldn't have normally taken on. I am 53, and yeah, it's not what most of my 53-year-old friends do. There's older people than me riding. Check out my video about our mate Gary at 68. But yeah, it's definitely a bike to put on your list to check out. You know, like, I'm not saying it's the only bike out there. There's a lot of great bikes out there. I do like the Austrian bikes as far as what they do, what they're capable of. But yeah, I've got real issues with their company ethos. They seem to be just all about money, not about the customer, consuming other brands and taking them over. Don't like that. Sherco is still family owned, pumping out about 10,000 units a year from their factory in France, and yeah, minding their own business. Building great bikes. So you can see what the bike can do with an overweight 53-year-old office worker on it. Imagine when it's got someone good on it. Get it together. Come on. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that makes you know you're alive.
Fuck yeah.
Heading back to the cars now. Had a great day out on the 300 factory Sherco 2021 model. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps you decide one way or the other whether you'd like to try one out or not. Enjoy your life between the trees. Catch you later.